Go. Hi there. You must be Edith. It's very nice to meet you.
I am Edith.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am that guy.
Sam,
So
Edith.
excited.
Yes.
You are that guy. You seem to be a showman. Are you a showman?
I try my best to be, at least.
Little bit.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Do you have a TikTok page? Because I'm not sure if I'm following you or not.
I do.
Okay.
And I hit follow.
Okay.
So you'll see me after you get off the show.
Okay.
Kind of go whenever you have time.
Perfect.
Yeah, send her your link.
Let's do that.
That way you guys become friends. Our idea is when we find really cool people to, invite them into the circle, keep it moving, keep them coming back, just kind of like a coterie of rotating people. After this, got to remind me to invite you to the little group chat that she made with the people that we've already invited for.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that way we can, you can add them and they can explore your little community that you created. I see that you created a community, which is what we're trying to do over here.
Edith said that, since we're so good friends, you and I, that we're going to drive a little bit.
Good
She's
friends?
basically backseat podcast and ask.
No, I wouldn't say that.
What would you say then, Sam?
What
would you call it?
I'd say very close acquaintances. Maybe even butt buddies if we got there. It'd be nice.
Oh,
if we got there. Current relationships are forbearing that right now, but no.
Okay.
So I probably know Sam just about as long as I know you, Edith. This has been like the year of me of creating friendships and, actually, getting out there and not being a guy who just, stays home alone and plays video games, which, nothing wrong with that. Just can't be my whole life. And he also challenges me in the way that I don't know how to flirt at all. And I tend to I'm good at riffing back and forth with jokes, right? But like you could see, like, just when he said that, like, it was funny.
So Sam, teach us,
but buddies all the way,
teach us how to flirt.
But then I just went,
It's because I'm so pretty. I'm sorry, man. If I was butt ugly, it'd be a lot easier for you to flirt. It's okay.
I'm going to have you wear a veil around me at all times just to keep the tension down.
Okay.
I do the same thing. Sure. I do the same thing.
Perfect.
You guys are flirting. Okay, that's what flirting is right there.
I mean,
it's also friendship at the same time.
All the time.
I mean,
I flirt with LeBlanc too.
You flirt
too?
That's
all I was going to say.
I have a very flirty personality, and that is unfortunate to me because most of the time I'm not really sure that I'm flirting. It just kind of happens,
And I believe flirting. I just want to touch on flirting real quick.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Please.
Flirting with the right intention is great. Flirting with the wrong intent, like you guys have the right intention. That's the right intention. You get conversation flowing, blood going, you're smiling, you're laughing, you're having a good time. It's the other kind of flirting. The one where you're just doing it to get through the moment, or you're just trying to bypass
you're
this
using
person.
it as like a crutch, as in to get through the conversation itself. No, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, almost every conversation starts with a little bit of like conversational appetizer in the form of a little flirt, a little back and forth until we get down to like the serious stuff, and then, but then like the conversation flies, which that all my friends have that with me, where the conversation just keeps going. It's oiled. It goes back and forth very well.
Absolutely. That's the whole point of conversation, my man.
Right.
Cheers.
So, since we're here, I got to ask: do you flirt? Because it seems to come very easily to you, and I've met your family, and they're also, especially your father, very quick to turn a phrase to kind of bring things into like a sexual joke or a funny joke to kind of make the other person pause and just kind of liven up the room. So do you,
I unfortunately do that with everybody. In just normal conversations, it always comes off as like I'm flirting. Most of the time, I'm just trying to make jokes, just trying to riff with whoever I happen to be talking to. But most of the time, yeah, it definitely comes off as flirty, which is unfortunate, because you can have like a normal conversation with like colleagues, and they'll be like, do we need to get HR involved? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not a part of this. As like joking. I'm not saying that actual HR. Like, is this going somewhere? I'm like, no, it's not.
So I'm not going to lie. When I first met you, you weren't necessarily putting it on that hard. But as we got comfortable, it came out more and more. And I told my wife, I was like, I don't think he means anything by it, but that man is coming on to me so damn hard. And I haven't had this from a dude since probably like my mid 30s. And so it's just fun for me.
Stop.
It is. Because I know that, you got your own thing going on. Sam's a guy with a wife. He's got 3 kids. Do I have the number right? 3 kids?
Yeah, it's 3 kids.
Hey,
I'm looking to make a tip if y'all want to buy one. I mean, I'll give it away. Nah, they're amazing. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
And so I know that we both got our own thing going on, but a little playful banter back and forth like that. I don't know. It does liven up the conversation.
Yeah. And I know that when we started hanging out for the very first time, at the very least, that I was having trouble concentrating on anything, mostly. Just the random little headaches or the pressure inside of my head where it's like difficult to actually talk. That's now gone because I know what to do. I have to take 2 ibuprofen and then whatever medication that I need to do that also. But mostly just to reduce the inflammation so that way I can actually talk. Once I've got past that, we could talk forever.
Right. Yeah. You've got that energy. Do you want to tell the people why your brain is swelling?
I'm just dumb. No, I've got hyperthyroidism. So it's progressing really quickly. And so this will probably turn into a goiter at some point, which kind of sucks. But it's also causing inflammation throughout my entire body, including my brain, which leads to headaches and memory lapse, which is what I'm going through most of the time.
And this is where Edith should come in with medical knowledge because she's got medical knowledge.
Which I do have a question. How long have you had hyperthyroidism?
It started really rearing its head.
How long have you had it?
December of last year. Since then, I've lost about 20-ish pounds. And it went from minor headaches to major headaches to I just forget things now. So unless I'm taking like ibuprofen every so often to reduce inflammation, I just went to the endocrinologist a couple of weeks ago, and they're supposed to give me medication. They still haven't called me about it. But yeah, that's what it's going to be.
How do you feel? So. I mean, how have you changed as a person after hearing this diagnosis? Was it something that you called the doctor and you said, hey, I'm feeling this way, can you please help me? Or was it something that they diagnosed you with?
Yeah, I kind of went about it a different way because I was taking like different medications. I take ADHD or Adderall for my ADHD, and I switched over to Vyvanse. And since I switched over to Vyvanse, I've been having headaches. So we're just trying to figure out where the headaches came from, and if it's just Vyvanse, switching back over to Adderall. But in the process, I found out that the headaches weren't actually caused by those things. It was caused by, thyroid problems.
So they kind of investigated and figured it out.
Yeah, we troubleshooted it. We had a lot of different things that we went through to get to this point. But here we are. I've got thyroid problems. I'm not like packing on weights, but I'm having a hard time keeping weight on right now. So we'll just cross those bridges when we come to it. Eat more cupcakes.
How are you handling it? I mean, do you have see, for me with my ADHD, I meditate, I go to the gym, I have things that I do. What is it you do for self-care concerning this?
I make content. I mean, that's one thing. I talk to a lot of different friends, and I help them make content most of the time. I've got a couple of friends right now that I'm currently walking through their videos and trying to help them out in particular. But mostly, besides hanging out with my kids, playing Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, I think that's It's like the normal coping mechanisms.
Yeah. Well, it's the coping mechanism now, right?
Yeah.
Until it's not anymore. So I'd say that's a
Right.
pretty good list of things that you're doing for yourself. Now, do you have to work too?
It's a lot of different
Do you
things.
have to work as well?
What's that?
Do you have to work a job as
I
well?
dance the tables at the local club. Yeah, there's the top of Gainesville. I don't really make that much money. They usually pay me to get off the tables, but that's how it goes, you know? It's life.
Sam.
It happens, you know? Sometimes you walk in, you got a string on, it gets sucked up into the booty hole. You can't get it out. You have to have other people helping
You're
you pull it all out. It
stripping?
just happens.
Are you
know?
stripping? You're taking off the old clothes, huh?
Oh yeah. Whenever I can, honestly.
Until they start telling them, please, would you
Please
please
put your clothes
Sorry, this is
back
the target.
on. Okay. Well,
actually, I make X-ray machines for cancer research.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, it's completely different. On actually, like, not lying or trying to make it a joke, I make X-ray machines for cancer
Oh,
research.
that's excellent. Okay.
It's just the delivery.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, seriously, that is what he does. He will. Yes,
Not the dancing.
Sure,
tables,
he
not
would
the dancing tables,
probably rather be stripping, but
Oh, of course.
Yes,
obviously. If I could like use these gorgeous, hideously gorgeous looks for anything else besides just being pretty on TikTok, I would. But until feet pics finally take off, this is me being poor.
I mean, hey, if there's one thing I've learned about OnlyFans and all of the different people who say that they have them, all the different body types and all the different presentations, depending on, you know, if they're non-binary or if they're cis or whatever. OnlyFans has a window for everybody. So I guarantee you there's at least 30 people out there looking for a little bit
it's
of
how you
right
market
now.
it, though. And unfortunately, my main TikTok is completely centered around the SCP Foundation, which brings in a lot of minors.
That's true. That's true.
So if I was going to do something like that, I would have to create a new
is.
community, build them up from the ground up, and then hopefully move that over. Which, I mean, it's a game plan if I wanted to, and if you wanted to, but you know, it's not there just yet.
There's a couple of things I'd have to do to my body before I want to put all of it on camera. But Edith, just
anything to your body.
Well, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. Edith, do you know what the SCP is?
What
or
is
SCP
that?
in general?
Secure, Contain, Protect. It is a multinational fictional government agency that helps take down anomalies, categorize them, and they make like articles based on it. So when you go to look up a story that's based in the SCP Foundation, the universe that it's in, it is a like a catalog sort of thing. Like you're reading the case notes of what's going on.
It's very much like a Wikipedia type style, and it's one of the largest collaborative fictional efforts that I know of. There may be other ones out there. I mean, people who've played online, they play as a part of an already established fantasy, you know, like World of Warcraft or Diablo or something like that. But this was made by the creators and then held to a certain quality. I've tried to write a story myself. It got bombed into oblivion. People were like, no, this is horrible. This doesn't fit anywhere in the universe. I'm like, well, he's going to live in my head forever.
So this is
also, it all started as like a post on 4chan back in 2007, I believe.
Just like Q.
So it was like one random post, and people were like, this is really cool. So we're just going to add on to it. And more people started adding on to it. Now it's thousands upon thousands of different articles that people have read.
Like Q.
Written.
Yeah.
Q was on 4chan too.
Well, yeah, but like kind of like Q, if it wasn't, it's fiction.
Oh, it's completely fiction. Well, Q's kind of fiction too.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, yeah, Q's fiction too. But I'm just saying,
about
like,
all
it's
the
written from the basis.
theories. And...
Not try to clown itself as anything else.
But think of it as it's a mix of anything from Western sci-fi, cyberpunk, government fiction, even sometimes some gore and gore, depending on like how deep you go in, and they'll let people know that, hey, this is really, this is really extreme. People who don't want to read this, don't read this. And it's all of these fictions put together around, I think, 3 major anomaly hunting or using. Like, some people want to use the powers that they find. Some people just want to contain them. Some people want to destroy them completely. And all of these stories have just woven together to this massive website. I say just dive in one day, and like, because they hyperlink other stories and other things that inspired that story. So you can go back and go, oh, what the heck is SCP? I'm just throwing a number out there. 69.
06 or yeah.
It would be 3 or 4 digits. So 069, let's say.
Yeah.
Is it political?
No,
it can be.
It's some of it might be.
No, not
even
real,
like
not
religious
real
in different portions, but it's like all just fake stories that people are writing in the perspective of being an employee at some foundation where they're trying to contain these anomalies. If you would read at least a little bit of it, you would see kind of what they're trying to get at.
It brings wisdom, doesn't
so
it?
We'll get to that later. Anyways, I make content on it. That's what I do.
It's especially his interpretation of Dr. Bright, which with that hedge trimmer kills me every time. It's
supposed to be a chainsaw, but I couldn't afford one. So.
I know. But you wield it like a chainsaw, which makes it even better. Yeah. But the characters in there are wild. They're zany. But some of them are really serious and have tragic backstories. I'm telling you, so many people have given to this thing that it is now this like amorphous blob of like fibrous connective tissues that each one just connects to something else. And it's a deep
we
dive.
all share
it's
DNA. This is one way to do it.
Oh, yes, very much. It's very much mental DNA.
Yeah.
Very much so. And there are also Nazis who will say that your DNA is not pure enough to go into the pool, and they will kick you out.
Shit. Man, this is raw.
I mean, that's what happened to me.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely correct, though.
Yeah, but they do that to protect the. I hate to say this, the bloodline of the stories. So, I mean, very much so. That's kind of what they're doing. You even have to appeal to a 3-member board on their own chat service to even put something in. You can't just point, click, put something in, and boom, you're done.
They need to be approved before they go up, which makes sense because you want it to be okay enough that other people will be able to read it and not too far into a direction of like, oh, well, it's way too sexual. So we don't want it to be seen by like a bunch of people that could just click the link, or it's just very poorly written. So there's no real reason to have it on the website listed as like a specific file number.
Huh.
So, and there's been video games made of this. There's been so many people who make content about it. Like I said, his interpretation of Dr. Bright is good. There's another good Sherman. Director Sherman, I think it's
2 or 4 million subscribers, something like that. I know Baby Blue Eyes has 4 million subscribers. Dr. Bright, or now Team Rook, is at 500,000 followers, I think, and multiple subscribers on YouTube. Yeah.
So, Edith, if you ever want a recommendation, I'll throw you a couple of some of my favorite stories. Probably give you some of the OGs, like the statue that will kill you. If you don't
Can
look at
somebody
it.
like Edith
there you go.
be writing on this SCP thing? Huh? Can I put one of my tragic stories on there?
As long as you can get
a little anal, a little cheating.
Maybe.
There's really no such thing as cheating.
Worse things have happened.
Yeah, some of the stories are actually about the interactions in between the people who are involved in there. Yeah, she said anal. She definitely just said anal. Just slipped.
Oh no, I heard
and she slipped it in there, hoping that nobody would notice. But I'll tell you this right now: there's not many people who don't notice anal when you try to slip it in. Anyway, so
is that alcoholic? Because that sounds like a great idea.
A Hummer. You would. You would. I'm having a hurricane over here, and you're talking about a Hummer. This is bisexual coffee. It's only $7, and it won't break the bank.
Where were you, You didn't even join in. What's wrong with you? Come on now. I can't believe you, Sam. Can't believe it. No.
Catch up.
I don't know any of these references. I am so sorry.
You'll catch on.
We switched so quickly from the SCP Foundation to anal that I got completely lost somewhere. Okay, I'm in Albuquerque at this point.
Must have took a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Look, how old are you, Sam? How old are you, friend?
Old enough to be your daddy.
Ooh.
Actually, I gotta remember.
On the
One
end.
second. 33. Had to do some math.
You
that sounds
really
right.
think you're old enough to be my dad, huh?
Well, no, I'm not saying
Okay,
I
I'll
could be your
take
dad.
it.
I'm saying that I could be
I'll
your
take it.
daddy.
Daddy.
Oh,
There's a difference.
Daddy.
With a DY at the end.
Daddy
Yeah.
with a little slappy.
Mhm.
All right, so I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of the podcast. I got to go take a cold shower. No.
No, poor
Well,
thing.
we'll see you later, Mr. LeBlanc.
Yeah, right.
Glad to be here. Intermissions
are gonna
already?
get a package
Okay.
in the mail. I'm gonna send you a cold
all-
shower.
I'm gonna try to rein this in. So all of
Hey,
this
I
to
might join
say,
you. I mean, it sounds nice right about now.
all of this to say that he does do a lot of SCP content, and so there's a lot of people who do know him for that.
Right.
He does have one that is not themed. Who he just finally followed me back on that one, which I'm wondering.
Oh, I was actually following you on Sitting With You Too.
Oh, okay.
So I was
Good.
following the wrong one. That was my bad. But I'm only following
So-
13 people on there just because I wanted to see if I just removed all the people that I was personally following, if that would just help my views, because it first goes out to the people who are friends with you and they might not watch your videos. They might not care. Or then to your followers. So I was like, maybe if I just got rid of my mutuals, maybe.
I don't add anybody from Facebook. I will not do it.
Oh yeah, no.
I will not do it. But I'll tell you, it's a strange animal. It's like none of my Facebook friends, I think they're all narcissists. Not that that's a bad thing, right? But they're all into themselves, which is fine.
Well, I feel like
But
if you're
they
posting on
don't want
Facebook in
me to
general, you have to have a
succeed
little bit
kind
of
of thing.
narcissism.
Yeah.
A little bit, especially if you're regularly posting on Facebook. Like I share my content from other places on Facebook. And then like there are 2 or 3 friends and like 4 family members who won't see me any other time. So I use that to keep in touch with them. Like they won't even answer their text, but sure hell answer a Facebook post if I tag them in it.
True.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Weird.
So
I try not to analyze it because everybody's got their shit. Like we've got a hurricane.
I just forget. Oh, you've got a
Down
hurricane.
here.
That's right. You've got what is
Florida.
it?
Milton.
Milton. I was thinking
Yeah.
Matilda, and I was like, it's a guy name, and that's not a guy name, I don't think.
Milton.
Yes. It's already a Category 5. Happened in the last
it's
12 hours, something like that.
It's not looking great. In fact, I was going to ask you, Edith, before when we were talking about this, when you hit record, you sound like a tried and true Floridian, as in you're not leaving. You're like, we other people have been wiped off the map, but we'll be okay because I've always been okay. And I worry. A father worries. A friend worries.
Yeah, my dad, I have to not answer my phone. That's what I have to do. When there's a hurricane. And I don't think family realizes that when you call 6 times and you text me and, it's not really facilitating independence or the strength to battle whatever fight I've got going on. It's more like, we don't have faith. This could be the last time I'm talking to you.
You probably died.
Yeah, or whatever. Like if this is my time, I fucking want to go. All right. If this is my time, if the universe is like blah blah blah, I don't believe that's going to happen. You know why? Because I'm going to be the only one here. I'm going to be meditating. I'm going to be putting protection over this entire house. I'm going to wash the door with salt. I'm going to put a sage
I feel like you have to do
candle.
that normally in Florida, though, honestly.
Oh, sure. Sure. To keep all the mean gays away. Because I don't want to be in a relationship with the mean gay. There's mean gays, you know.
Yeah, I mean there are.
They love you, but they do it in a sneaky, underhanded, passive-aggressive kind of way.
As I tell my my followers or anybody who will listen to me,
like that though.
Yeah, well, there are assholes of every flavor, and that includes people who you think that you would get along with just because whether sexual orientation or where you guys are from, or what you're doing now as far as a job. You think, hey, this person's on the same level, and you just find out they're assholes. So they're assholes everywhere. You just gotta just be aware of that.
Touche. Touche. I mean, honestly, what is an asshole, really? It's somebody that's not gonna.
I mean,
they're not.
I mean, if you're really wanting to get into it, I mean, if you're trying to learn as much as you can about the asshole, you want to really like be a part of that asshole. You want to really get deep in there and find out more about it.
Anal.
Every square inch.
Somebody's 33. With the libido.
Yeah. Also.
Oh, get over it, Michael LeBlanc.
You probably still have the elasticity too, which is very important. The older you get, the less elasticity there is. Yeah.
Hey, listen, as a proud Eagle Scout, I've been into the woods a lot of times. Let's just
look. Yeah. Anal.
Weird. Internet kind of just dropped there for a second.
So since you're on a podcast called Bisexual Coffee, do you have any queer nature within yourself that you subscribe to, or are you just accepting of everything?
As long as they fill out the form for consent, I'm good. Whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah. I have a form too.
You got a
There's
form too?
There's only 9 lines to it. There's 9 lines.
Oh, yeah?
You've got to sign it 9 times for consent. You got to be really into it. You have to commit to it.
Okay.
All right. Not in the middle. I didn't give you consent.
Let's commit to the bit. What's the body of your consent form?
What's the body of my consent form?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're here. Yeah. Commit to the bit. What's the body? Then
can you make it? Can you at least get there by like 9 and be out by 10? That's
out of your butt. I mean,
no, just within that area. Okay, I'm not going for it in an hour. Okay, I'll get 3 minutes in there. A good 3 minutes. Don't get me wrong. I'll rock your world with those 3 minutes, but I'm not like crazy with it. I'm passive.
A whole 3 minutes, huh?
That's where toys come in.
Oh yeah.
Personal stamina notwithstanding.
Okay.
Get yourself a nice, set of toys, something to delight the senses before, during, and after.
Okay. I'm trying to speed run this. Okay. Like I'm gonna get off first. Okay. I'm gonna get off first. I'm gonna get off often. Okay.
No, you selfish.
Okay. And if you're not gonna get there, you're not gonna get there. Yeah.
No.
I'm
that
so
is
glad
a 33-year-old for you.
I'm like a chihuahua. I'm like, done.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I would call you a chihuahua.
Maybe I'm not actually bi. It's more like I'm just done so quickly. I never really realize who it is. As long as they sign the consent form, it's all good, right?
Is it as big as my pinky, at least? Are we packing
on a good day?
On a good day.
Serious?
Pinky?
I will say that they're on a 2D screen. We're dealing with
stay away from me.
We're dealing with perspective issues on a 2D screen right now.
That's
you got to get close to the camera.
I'm like
you got to get close to the camera. Is it the size of my head? See, it all depends on how close you are to the camera.
I can slap you with it, and we can just.
By the way,
I'm like a side by side.
This is actually a date between Sam and Michael LeBlanc, okay?
Hey, it could be a date between all 3 of us. I mean, crazier things have happened.
Are you going to make a sandwich? I was
thinking more like a spit roast or an Eiffel Tower. I mean, if we could just high five.
3 minutes won't cut it, honey. 3 minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
No, 3 minutes.
You're not the one high-fiving, Michael. You're the one in the middle.
Oh, fantastic.
3 minutes he can handle. How about that?
Hey, I said the toys for a reason because toys are very important when it comes to sexual health, especially. I mean, I know
the Hot Wheels in there. I mean, it's not going to get crazy until you get the Transformers coming in.
See, like I know what I can do. I know what my body has. Like I've I've tried all types of different like things as far as like to make things longer. There are a few tricks that I've learned over the years, but overall, it's not a long stamina game with me. So that's why I make sure that we have good toys, both for either myself or, my partner at the same time. So, it's
as
important.
somebody with kids, personally, it's never a long time. It's just whenever you can, as quickly as possible.
That makes sense.
I'm going to interrupt for a second.
Oh, please
do.
I need you to. I need you to. So I just came out, Sam, not too long ago, and I noticed something about looking back on my life, and I like men. I do. I like them a lot. And it seems like the sex was always good with my friends, but never good with anybody I was in a romantic relationship with. And I realized that when you set boundaries with a friend, they will honor them. You set them with a straight man, and it would turn them into a misogynist. Their ego would come up. Straight men are like this. What I love about you two, you are men, all day long men.
That is true.
But you are afraid of fucking nothing. Okay? No label. You're both obviously
in that
married.
Sense. Okay. I was about to say, tornadoes kind of terrify me, but I see what you're saying. But it's like,
I
got
that
you.
kind of. We all have.
I'm
our
scared
little,
of spiders.
Right?
I'm scared of
No, I got you.
I'm not scared of much. I'm not scared of much anymore. But I'm 55.
No, there's a little bit of a confidence there.
Years old.
Absolutely. And I feel like if you're going to walk into a bedroom, you need to have at least a little bit of confidence walking in.
Yeah.
Like what? Tell me, because we have straight male listeners. Tell me, you're talking to them as friends. What could they do to help their relationship? You've got good, functioning, lovely relationships. What do you think is the first thing that helps you with your wives?
I feel like most straight guys in America, at least, have a problem with just not doing anything. So just chill. Figure out how to come up with a time for you to just like sit down and not like want very much, make your mind go to different places. So that way, when your partner wants to go to that place where you want to actually have sex, y'all are both on the same page.
It's like
I feel
respect.
like that's the main part. Yeah, because I feel like most of the relationships are either one person really wants it while the other person doesn't, and it's never on the same page. So if you're always wanting there, then you need to just drop it a little bit. Figure out some other way to get to that point where you're on the same page. Because communication in the bedroom or just like in relationships in general is the most important part.
Yeah.
Just drop it a little bit. That's good.
That sounds like
not
something
just like drop it,
Edith.
Figure out something else.
I feel like that's something that Edith really touches on a lot of time, is where ego gets in the way of a good relationship. And being in that state where you're constantly wanting something and you think that you need it and it's all about you is definitely just swimming in your own ego. So, that tracks.
Also, if you're in a relationship, you're going to get there. I mean, it's not going to happen instantly, but you are going to get to that point again. So just don't worry about it, Figure out some other way to figure out your time, just fill it up with as much as you can. So that way, when you are there, you're there.
To touch on communication, which is obviously huge in all aspects of a relationship, not being afraid to say what's on your mind because you think that the other person is going to receive it wrong or something like that. If something's on your mind and it's really important to you and you think it's really important between you two, don't be afraid to say it. At the very least, if the person, say that you're bringing out a kink that you have and that you've really been wanting to try out, if you are in a comfortable relationship and you say that kink and you say it with not worrying whether or not they're going to say they're into it or not, then it becomes easier to say. Because I've been in a couple of relationships where I was like, hey, I'm really interested in XYZ. And that person goes, yeah, that's probably not going to happen with me. I was like, that's cool. That's why they create certain toys to facilitate the experience.
But the important part is actually being able to talk about it directly, face to face. Because if you're worried about even bringing it up in the first place, you might not be the right person or with the right person. Or if you're the person that has a problem with listening to other people's kinks and stuff, you might need to seek at least therapy or a way to figure out your own self.
Yeah. Sexual therapy is huge.
Yeah.
Say that again, Sam.
Say that again?
One more time. Say that one more time.
That one more time.
What you just said.
Okay. So getting to the point where you can talk to somebody, and if you're not okay with talking to them, or they're not okay with talking to you, one of y'all has to fix it. You need to go to therapy. You need to figure yourself out,
and possibly even go together. I mean, couples therapy also works pretty well when it comes to sexual health as well. And I would actually almost recommend couples therapy if you're thinking about sexual therapy, because the person's only going to get one side of whatever is wrong. They're going to get one side of that conversation. They're not going to be able to see the missed connections or the possible bridges between the two people. So, or three people or four, depending on what kind of situation you're in. But, for, as you said, this was mostly for the straight guy community specifically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, straight guy community. So, yes.
I
don't know very much about the bi community.
I love them. I love them all. I love all people. And I've noticed in my travels over this summer is that we're all just really fucking cool. I mean, differences, I believe you have to make them up. In order to misunderstand somebody, you got to make up some bullshit so you can treat them like crap or whatever.
You're so used to going down like a lane where you know when something happens, you're supposed to respond a certain way. Whether you saw like your parents do it when you were growing up, or like, this is how couples react in like movies. So when something happens, you immediately like jump up and you're like, I have to react this way. You don't have to. You can just figure it out through actual communication.
And that's a killer too. I don't think that I was going to pull out a Reddit story today because I don't have a second screen in front of me, but I see that kind of story on Reddit all the time where guys, it seems to be guys mostly, but I think it's just because those are the stories that are being told, who are being outed as people who run their relationship, whether normally their sexual relationship and sometimes even just their regular communication game, as if they're getting it from a movie, as if they're getting it from porn. If something on the screen has told them, either Andrew Tate has told them to neg every woman he sees, or Johnny Sins has said to wear as many costumes as possible and pile drive women until they're goo. And then they think, hey, that's all we got to do.
And then when they're not able to do that, it completely ruins them.
Yeah. Yeah. Jackhammering's
not everybody's going to react the same way that your porn is.
That's true.
Everybody's slightly different.
You guys are so great. I love you both so much. So one more question.
Love us both a little bit harder, baby.
I love you both.
What's your other question there, John?
Very, very wise. This shit is good. Okay. So when you're out, both of you, and how do you react when you're around misogyny? When you can smell it, when you can see it, when somebody is actively engaged in their ego and knee deep in the bullshit that is misogyny and codependency and the patriarchy.
Well, first you got to like peel back the onion of like, is this a joke or is this not a joke? Because I feel like guys in general, when they start getting onto their guys group and start talking, they use it mostly as a joke and as a crutch for humor. And then once you get past that point, you can at least figure out how to talk with them. Whether it's like, hey man, I need you to stop, or hey dickwad, shut the fuck up.
Right.
Depends on the situation.
That's why I like the little community that I'm a part of with you on Discord. And you'll get guys in there who, you can tell when they're blowing off steam, but then they're also like a couple of days later, they're in the one part of the Discord that's all about like feelings and shit, because, they realize that the caliber of the human being that's around them, which I think is also important, is to be an example of somebody who doesn't use misogyny or ill taste in jokes constantly when you talk, because variety is the spice of life, but also if you are just leaning on that, then that means that you have something else underdeveloped in your conversational skills. So being a beacon of somebody who can practice like that, I think helps with other guys who are suffering with either closed-mindedness or whatnot.
Yeah.
Having that said,
now there is a slight problem with that. On the Discord that you're referring to, the guys Discord that Maddie had made.
Yeah.
I have a problem with I don't want to actually say anything because most of those guys I don't really know, or more importantly, there's like two in particular that I'm not going to name names, but they have a problem with pointing it out and almost laughing at it if anybody does pop out. So
that is true.
You'll see maybe somebody posts something in those boards where we're really trying to delve deep into hey buddy, are you okay? But then it turns into a joke. And it happens so quickly, and it's always the same people. So it all depends on the sort of people that you surround yourself with.
That's true. That's true. They say that a measure of your own self is the company that you keep.
True.
And I try. That's why if I do see that on there, for me it's so infrequent. I guess it's because I'm looking for specific people to post and whatnot. Which there is, I have two things that I've known about myself over time. Is one, that I am confrontational avoidant. That has gotten that particular thickness that has numbed me over the years is thinned as well, because I'm with somebody whose arguments is a love language. And so I have learned that argument is very healthy, actually. Avoidance itself causes stress and causes a whole bunch of knotted feelings inside of you to just make things worse. And here recently, I got to
and arguments themselves are on top. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Okay. Just real quick, I wanted to say that
you're good. You're good. Take your time.
I haven't seen misogyny in my face in quite some time. Maybe that's because of where I am and the company I keep or whatnot. I've seen a whole lot of other things. I've seen drug users. I've seen people who are down on themselves actually more than they're down around on other people. And maybe it's because I'm not interacting with them. If I did, maybe I'd find out more about them, except for this one person who I was sitting in her living room and I was telling her about my podcast. I was telling her about our podcast as well. I mentioned that it was called Bisexual Coffee. And as soon as I said that, she clutched her metaphorical pearls and said, "Oh." And just like she was telling me what the weather was, she went, "Oh, I'm homophobic." And I went,
she said it just like that.
Just like that. I have never in real life had the chance to give somebody the double finger guns. But I did to this woman. I went,
wow.
And that's why we're not having a conversation. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings." You didn't hurt my feelings. You just kind of showed me what the lay of the land was here. I'm going to go ahead and finish helping your daughter. This is the whole reason I was there. I was helping somebody move. And I don't think 5-year-old younger me would have done that had I not be with somebody who challenges me to not just say the things I think she wants to hear. And so that's growth on my part.
Isn't that incredible? Yeah. So let me tell you, I have to deal with misogyny day in and day out because the patients that I take care of can be anywhere from, they've been young, but 55 to 102.
Some of that old school misogyny.
I have so many I have them all over. I have tattoos all over.
Woman
both
with
legs.
Tattoos?
Both legs, both arms. And what happens when I go into a patient's room is that, if they're a misogynist, or even the woman can be what do they call a misogynist woman? They call her Karen. They call her an actress. They call her all kinds of different. A woman hater. Yeah.
A bastion of self-hate.
They just lay into me about at least 4 people, at least in a day, and then I'll have men tell me, "Oh, you're so beautiful." I come in and that's the first thing they say. It's not how I want to be seen. I'm your nurse.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be beautiful. That's not a part of a conversation that I want to have with you.
Yeah, it is
You
weird
know?
to
Maybe
lead
it's
off
something that
any
they grew up
conversation
with.
with.
But also, like, being a general bigot when it comes to that sort of stuff isn't something that you need to move forward with in today's society. Even if you are like 100 years old, which, I mean, if you're a bigot and you're 100, you'll be gone soon. Who cares?
That is true.
Living on borrowed
A
time.
I'm sorry,
little
that was a weird way to say
heartless,
that. But I mean,
well, I was just
I'm
making
here for a
the
good time, not a
example
short
that
time.
women,
Yeah.
right, here for
Yeah.
a good time
Wait,
and a short time.
There we go. Yeah, that's
I
the
was
word.
gonna say wait.
Not a long time. So yeah.
Michael,
I don't know. I
it's
was
the
assuming that
same
I was going to be
thing.
dead by 30. Go
And look
ahead.
at you.
I'm
I thought
sorry.
I was
Look at you
gonna
now.
be- yeah.
You've
so
beat
sorry.
your own
Continue.
expectations.
Miss Edith, continue.
Well,
Sorry.
I was just going to say that I know if I'm dealing with it all day long, I don't want to come home and have to deal with it too. And that's the thing I was asking you before. You're, with a straight man, and I like them. I think they're so funny. They're funny, and they have all these quirks, and everything's got to be a certain way, and they've got to be stoic, and they've got to be a man, and everything's got to be masculine. And sure, I love all that shit. But when it comes down to the misogyny part, that means they come first with everything. They come first in the bedroom. They come first in the house. They come first with their family. They come first. Me, I'm just vibing. I'm just loving people. That's why I am queer, Edith.
But you also have like an emotional maturity about you that most straight men don't actually have. They haven't had to confront themselves in those sort of situations also. Like they haven't had the opportunity to even think, hey, maybe I'm not supposed to come first in this sort of situation, especially a bed. But still.
Now, of course,
Well, everybody should know that women's vaginas are slick when you juice them right up. When you work them a little and you turn up the volume there and you...
Are they supposed to do that?
Well, you know that. You have 3 kids. Michael, I'm waiting on a kid.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Marley did her
Not anytime soon.
Marley did her raising of kids when she was doing nannying, and I can see so much in her, and especially one of the kids that she helped raise. If we do anything, it's maybe like adoption idea in our own home.
Lovely.
Yeah, I've got no problem with it. But I do want to say that obviously grouping the entirety of any part of humanity into one thing, whether it be gay, whether it be trans, whether it be straight, is going to come with so many different permutations. So obviously, if you're hearing this right now and you're a straight guy and you're like, hey, I'm not machismo. I'm actually, I consider myself,
nice
I don't know.
Guy.
Yeah.
You see the figure of a woman, but you like the phallic nature of a penis, It's okay.
It's going to be.
It is.
Everybody who they may consider themselves straight, who just enjoys like a little bit of ass play with a finger, or maybe they don't consider themselves as maybe toxic masculine, with the one that don't approach your feelings, keep everything bottled inside, be stoic forever, but they're still straight. So. Again, I just wanted to put that out there in case anybody's listening.
Well,
hey,
I want to reach out to everyone,
Yeah.
especially straight men. Like, you don't have to be so manly. Just because there's a book on, there's GQ, there's a version of men, and then there's Muscle
I haven't
Health.
thought about GQ in a
There's a
while.
version of men, and there's Men's Health, and there's a version of men. And then I have the version that I like, and every woman in the world has the version that they like. And we've been putting out content forever telling men, hey, this is what we want. And it's almost like, so part of me thinks that misogynistic men are that way just so, like you said, Sam, they don't have to address all those shitty emotions that they have. Like their mom did everything for them and they don't know how to do shit.
Right. Or they just never learned that there was an emotional depth that they could ever get to. Homosexuality, especially in the South, is like demonized.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that we're even getting
Well, I'm
the
in
parades that we
Florida.
are, and the recognition and everything, which I'm hoping we may not even have to buy tickets or anything, but I'm hoping to see you here in Atlanta this month for
I'm
for the
coming.
Pride
Oh,
Parade.
that me?
Yeah, you.
Oh,
Oh, are
what
you coming
what
up?
day? What day?
I don't. It's in the end of. It's in the end of October. If it's, I hope it's Sunday because I have something to do that Saturday. But
Okay.
we'll find out. We'll find out.
I'll have to drive and sleep on your couch.
Yeah. But the fact that we're even getting that, which is good. There's less. I saw a lot less less blowback than I thought I was going to when I went to Pride this year. Obviously, it was also my first time in Pride, so maybe I was a little like glitz and glammed and taking a look at everybody and just reveling in the color. But I felt like it was a smooth event, save for one group that decided to tag along at the end of the parade, waving their banners and saying something that sounded like it was pro-gay, but when you listen to it, it was about the punishments of being gay, and it was the way they were saying it. Like protesters like that, like they almost have their own form of poetry that when you hear it, something's wrong with what they're saying. And that was about the only thing that I really heard while we were walking along the road.
So any belief, I want you to know, is mental illness. Anything that's floating around in your brain, bing, 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 bing. Science is the only thing that is constant. Science has, a hypothesis.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through an entire
also,
hypothesis.
You have a
when
thing
you're
where
doing
you
science.
have a certain amount of understanding of like the world, so science kind of makes sense, but you still have a belief in it by the end of the day.
Right.
But religion in general, when taken to the extreme, definitely is a problem.
Mentally, it's when it, and I had to realize this, you guys. Okay, so I was born into a Baptist cult. My dad just recently told me to listen to Andrew Tate. I quit speaking to my dad. I went to Ruidoso, New Mexico to take care of my dad, and I realized the reason I'm suffering is because this fucker is constantly talking. I mean, I was there and they played Trump the entire time. My stepmother was like, we need to kill the Democrats.
Kill them.
Evil scumbag
Yeah, I mean,
pig dogs.
this is
what
the
my uncle
shit
says.
I grew up with. I just woke up one day and I said, no more. I'm done.
I mean, I was in middle school and they were talking about what the Republican Party was doing at the time. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Aren't we supposed to be like nice to people? And
No,
that's
you know what?
all that converted me. It was super easy.
Well, this is what, and I won't talk about politics too much because it's all about beliefs.
Right.
It's all about beliefs, and all Washington D.C. does is raise money. How many emails have you guys gotten? I get inundated with emails and texts. Donate so we can win. It's all a crock of shit.
My
all that
in-laws
money,
do the same thing too, but I'll tell you this, I don't have my fingers in any of those polls, thank goodness. The only thing that I'm getting is the same 3 commercials on YouTube. Because YouTube ads, they're gonna show up.
Commercials on YouTube?
Oh yeah, constantly. Yeah.
I'm gonna send you something later. Or we'll talk about this afterwards. We'll get rid of those. That's it.
On my phone, though, that's the problem. I don't have a good ad blocker on my phone. On my computer, though, yes.
No, I'm talking about the phone.
I
don't use a computer.
I'll listen to that.
Yeah. No, me and Claudia haven't been having ads since they killed YouTube Vanced back in 2001, and we only had ads for like a month. And I was like, I ain't doing this. This sucks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because that's one of the most things I listen to.
Young people, this is why I vibe with young people. I'm 55. And I have a very select group of women that I hang with, and they are all living and vibing, taking care of themselves. Their husbands are doing whatever, their thing. You know, my husband's doing his thing. Everybody is doing their thing because the capitalist idea of a relationship doesn't work. Yelling at your partner because they haven't done A, B, and C when you still have A, B, and C to do, it's not your business. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of relationship I
am
want.
man, and I sit in recliner when I get home from work. I worked all day, so I don't do laundry. Whose kids are these? I don't know. I may have participated. Yeah.
I actually have found myself in a situation where I am doing most of the laundry and cooking simply because of the fact that Marley's schedule doesn't allow her to do that at night when she gets home. She's getting home at like 9 o'clock. We both got to be in bed by like maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock. So like to think that we could switch back and forth for her is like, okay, well, I know I cooked dinner last night, but you know, you got to cook dinner the next night. That's never going to work for us.
Yeah.
And so I bring my strengths to the table. She brings her strengths to the table. And you know, mine just happens to be the things that like some guys would be going, wow, you're cooking and cleaning most of the time. Like, why are you doing that? And luckily I don't have the kind of friends that ask me that.
Yeah, me either.
I think I used to. I used to. And part of the reason why I'm glad I moved states, it was part of the problem while I was there. I think it was also.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you're using communication with your partner, you're good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if they're not using communications with their partner, they're not. It's on them.
You know, I have a Google reminder on my phone that comes in every day, 4:30. Ask Marley what she wants for dinner. And sometimes we've already settled it. Sometimes none of us have thought about it because, you know, nothing got thought out the day before or anything like that. And so we both know that we're probably going to Wendy's. But that little thing, that little reminder was like one of the best things I think I've done. It's been on my phone now for a year. And that has fostered like a little bit of like mid-afternoon conversation if she can. Sometimes she can't get to the phone. But a lot of times it's just a text. It's like, hey, I got this set out. What do you want me to do with it? And that
works.
It's a great idea. It was a great idea. I can't pat myself enough on the back for that one.
You know what?
Yeah,
I am proud of
things,
you.
you know?
Just the little things.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what used to set me off. My husband, I would send him a text, hey, let's go to a movie or let's do something. And he would always text back, maybe.
Yeah.
And I felt ick every time he did that.
Yeah, it's such a milquetoast
Because he did
response.
it every single time. Never asked me if I wanted to go to a movie.
I'm sorry. You need to be dated.
Yeah.
You need to be taken out.
Unfortunately for me, I used to do that sort of thing. I used to be the sort of person that's like, hey, we can't do that sort of thing. We're not actually going to go out. Or I'm the one that's stopping it and not really bringing things up. Personally, it was just money. And now I kind of just gave up and we could do stuff that's not expensive. But most of the time for me, personally, it's just money. Like if we can't afford it, we're not going to go out. But I'm trying to figure out that stuff on myself because I'm not going to be poor forever. And going to like Wendy's and sitting down inside isn't going to change anything. But it'll fix things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you're even going to suggest something else after the word no, which is important. Like I went into my second marriage saying, I'm never going to say the word no. It took me 4 months to realize that was a bad idea. And I was hurting myself and her by not really like adding any bit of me into it. And that's what, you know, after saying no and saying, hey, maybe we can do this instead, like, you know, ain't got the money or what have you. So,
yeah.
We went full circle, man. We discussed Sam and the SCP. Is it SCP?
Yeah, there you go.
The SCP Foundation.
And I'm going to look that up. I'm going to educate myself on that.
There's a lot to read.
Good communication.
I'm telling
Not
you.
being scared to indulge in emotional concepts with men.
Yeah.
Finding a way to watch YouTube without ads.
I feel like we all got a little bit out of this conversation. I like this.
There we go.
I like this. This is good.
We had a great time. I had a great time. Sam, you are so nice. I like you so much.
I thought you liked
very
Sam.
much. I would say you are pretty, but actually, you know what? You are very pretty, Miss Edith. This is the end of the conversation.
You waited till the end of the conversation. That's good. You didn't lead off with that. You just didn't open it up, look at her, and go, "Wowza."
Yeah. No, he's a little old dude. The guy was a little old dude from the. I guess he was. The guy was from the. Oh God, he was born in like the 30s. I mean, that was they didn't use their minds. They just looked at shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I like you. Okay, I'll put my winky wink in your. That's what they did.
I mean,
that's why we have HR.
It's pretty fun.
It's a national pastime.
Men just
keeps the world going around.
A couple of pumps.
True.
A couple of pumps. A couple of pumps.
Oh,
well, that's all I'm ever getting is a couple of pumps. Okay. Any more than that, and I'm probably going to have like a slip disc, a hernia, or something. I mean, I'm in there and out so quickly.
Oh, it's for your health. Sucks. That's what I'm hearing. Good for you.
Absolutely.
I like a good 20 minutes of a good.
That's world record pace. I'm giving at least a good 45
I've got other
seconds.
things to do, Edith. Jesus Christ. Like, there's a sandwich I got to make.
Then I want to have a conversation. That's why you go.
I got to clean the house. I mean, we can get it in and out quickly, you know?
Man.
Now, I will say this. Afterwards, some cuddling and conversation is actually one of the things that I do thoroughly enjoy. It's because one of the reasons why I like Marley so much is she's such a touch and talk person. So it works very well with us. But as I've told her before, I'm not going too many details into her life when it comes to that because, as I've said before, this is my podcast, not hers.
Yep.
And that's it.
But so opening up completely on this sort of thing feels a little weird, and I'm still not there yet. But it's like practice.
You'll get there.
You did great.
You know, you can't really open up completely the asshole of life until you take a little bit of time to stretch it out
and spread them.
Okay, so that's where I thought this was going. Good job, guys. Good job. That really is the full circle.
Okay, I've been waiting.
That is really the full circle. All right, guys. I love you guys so much. I'm so glad I got both of you in the same room, so to speak.
Yep.
All right. Edith, do you want to
maybe at the end of October?
Edith, do you want to give your sign out, your normal sign out? You know what the people expect from you.
What do I say? Hello, darlings. Peace out. Word to your mother, and tell her I said hello.
Yeah, there we go. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.
Bye.